Hey everybody, welcome to the Takeoff podcast with John Clark. It is opening day. It's like Christmas Day for baseball fans, and the Phillies have expectations of going back to the World Series and getting 2 more wins and winning it. So we've got some good conversations here with Bryson Stott and Darick Hall. This is his first opening day start in the majors here with the Phillies. He will be filling in most of the time at first base for Rhys Hoskins. And Dave Dombrowski, the Phillies president, who has constructed another roster that has World Series hopes. Enjoy the conversations. All right, we are here with Phillies president Dave Dombrowski, and Philadelphia is hyped for opening day. Tell us how you get on opening days, having been at this for so long.
Well, it's an exciting day for everybody in the game. I think when you're associated, even if it's been a while, you get those butterflies in your stomach. You can't wait to get started. So that's how I feel today. Can't wait to get going and hopefully get that first win, because the first win can sometimes be the toughest one of the year to get under your belt. So just excited to go.
And obviously, building the roster is never done. You added Christian to the roster, and will he be coming here soon, and then you'll have to take somebody else off the roster?
Yes, he won't be here for today's game with the deal being made late and him coming from the West Coast. But I would anticipate being him here for Saturday's game. So we'll have to make a move on the roster in order to prepare a spot for him.
How do you feel about this roster on opening day as compared to what you built last year? Do you think this is a better roster?
I think it's a better ball club. I think we've improved our bullpen. We continue to improve our bullpen. Anytime you add a guy like Trey Turner to your team, you're going to be better. Now I'll even feel better once we get Bryce back in the lineup. That'll help a great deal. And also when Ranger gets back, which won't be too far down the road. So when you put the whole club together, if you can stay relatively healthy other than that, I think it's a better ball club overall.
Unfortunately, you had the big injury with Rhys Hoskins, and I saw the locker room and the jersey. It's up for Rhys. Is that kind of important to have him kind of in spirit with the team?
Well, yes, he's a key ingredient. I mean, he's a backbone of the team, sort of the, per se, captain of the team as we look at him, as the players look at him. And so he's been so important for the organization for a long time, and the players love him, so it just shows their feelings for him.
How much confidence do you have in Darick Hall? Rob Thompson says he's going to play the majority of time at first base. It seems like he's improved hitting lefties this spring. What have you seen from him in his advancement?
Well, we like Darick Hall. We have a lot of confidence in him. It's a situation where we think that he's ready to step into a big league lineup. It was going to be interesting, the challenge to get him into the lineup based upon what had taken place last year. Then Rhys getting hurt, unfortunately, came that way. But we like Darick. We think he can produce. He did it last year. He continues to improve. He worked over the winter with Kevin Long a lot on his swing, so that's even improved. We'll see about the left-hand hitters. He looked better in spring training, but we all know spring training's a lot different than the regular season. But we have a lot of confidence in him producing for us.
Do you think that you have the depth with this team and the lineup that you have that you can withstand an injury like you have with Rhys?
I think so. I mean, you prefer not to have them. You don't want to get tested too much as far as depth is concerned, because there's not any club in baseball that can continue to lose player after player that are star players. But I think we have the depth that we can withstand that at this point.
How good is it to see Zach Wheeler starting this season healthy? You got Aaron Nola, Taijuan Walker, who you acquired. What do you think about the starting rotation? Obviously, you've got some injuries to start with, but do you think you'll be able to withstand that with Matt Strahm stepping in and Bailey Falter?
I think so. I think those three, when you start talking about Wheeler, Nola, and Walker, that's a good start to your rotation. Of course, we'll miss Ranger in the beginning, and even Andrew Painter would have been a contributing member. But Bailey Falter pitched well for us last year. We think Matt Strahm can step up and do the job. He has started some in the past. So, again, we'll look forward to getting Suarez back, because that's a big addition for us, because he's really a good big league pitcher. And a lot of time he's a little bit undersung. People don't realize how good he is. But with that big three for us, we feel very good about it.
Obviously, the Phillies announced, and you announced that the negotiations with Aaron Nola are going to be put on hold until after the season. Is that more a wish of Aaron or the club? And do you think that that can sometimes have an effect on a guy?
Well, it really was a combination of factors. Aaron had expressed that, but that was our desire too. I don't like to go into a season negotiating contracts with individuals. Once we get out here, we're in a position you like the focus being on the field. I think that's important, so every time he takes the mound, he's prepared. And I think he would handle it anyway, but don't want to put any doubt in anybody's mind. And we've had all winter to try to get it done. Aaron's a quality individual. We like him a lot. Hopefully we can pick it up in the wintertime and make him a Philly for a long time. But for now, I think from both sides' perspective, it's the best thing to do.
So the World Baseball Classic was fantastic for Philadelphia to watch with Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, especially Trey and what he did. Do you think that having that high pressure baseball going into the season helps them get going? What kind of effect do you think it had?
I think it does, and I think it does in not only from my own perspective, but in talking to them. I had a chance to visit with them about it, and they talk about the intensity level and helping them get ready for the season. I also spoke to Jim Leland, who managed the last WBC team, and asked him about his thoughts, and this was during spring training. He said, Dave, I'll guarantee you, those guys that play here, they'll be ready for the season because they're taking high intensity at bats. And Schwarber, Turner, and Realmuto all felt that way.
So when you add a guy like Trey Turner, I remember Charlie Manuel when I was down at spring training, he said he can be a Jimmy Rollins. Then he said he could be a Chase Utley. But with the bases being bigger now and the rule changes, how much do you think Trey Turner atop the lineup will ignite the lineup, adds excitement to it, and just action on the base pad?
Well, I think it adds a lot. He's your typical leadoff type hitter, probably with a little bit more power, like you talk about a Jimmy Rollins. There's not many guys that are like that. But I think he adds a lot for us. He gives us that added dimension of speed. With Schwarber following up behind him, all of a sudden there's that conscious effort. You better be careful you don't throw him too many off-speed pitches, because now you're in a position where it gives Trey a better chance to run. And then, of course, also with no shift over there. So I think you're in a situation where it makes a big difference to your line having somebody like Trey. And I mean, no matter whose lineup he's in, because he's just such a good natural player. He's an outstanding player all the way around with the speed and the power, and a winning type player. So he definitely will add a lot for us.
When you're missing the right-handed bat in your lineup, maybe 30 home runs, 80-something RBIs from Rhys Hoskins, how much do you think that falls on Nick Castellanos to be more comfortable in his second year and have more production?
Well, I think it's important for Nick. I think with losing Rhys's bat versus right-hand pitching, we've got a lot of left-hand hitters in our lineup. And, of course, when Bryce comes back, even more so. But having Nick step up and be the type of hitter that we know he's capable of doing, you could see in spring training he was starting to come. He was working on something. So I feel very encouraged that he's going to bounce back and have a real typical Nick Castellanos year. So I think that comfort feeling with the work that he's doing with Kevin Long will pay off. So it's really important for us and important for him.
I was talking to some of the guys pregame, and they talked about just how close this team is. We saw it last year, especially in the playoffs. In all your years in baseball, have you seen a team that is really this close, and how much do you think that translates to the field?
Well, I think it's important as far as being together as a club. Now, there's been clubs that have a lot of problems with one another, and they still win. But in our situation here, I think it's really important for the team. They really care about one another. There's that bonding. You sense that togetherness. So I think most championship caliber clubs in today's world have that type of bonding. We had a team dinner the other night. They said when we landed here in Dallas, they had all the on-field personnel and the supporting cast in the clubhouse. All the players showed up. So it just shows you the type of feelings that we have. And I think it's important for us.
So Bryce Harper, everybody back in Philly is wondering, could he possibly come back than earlier thought? How's his rehab, his recovery going? And is there a chance that he really could come back far earlier than we thought?
Well, his recovery is going great. I mean, he's doing fantastic. There's been no setbacks at this time. Hopefully that will continue to be the case. He's doing great in that regard. I think the only thing I'd say is that, as we mentioned before, we didn't put him on the 60-day list. And if we would have put him on the 60-day injured list rather than the 10-day list, he wouldn't have been able to come back until May 29. So it's a situation that at least we keep that option open, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. The sooner he can come back, the better, but we also don't want to rush him either.
And how about Andrew Painter? How's he coming along? Do you think that we'll see him at some point here, maybe June, July, something like that?
Well, Painter's doing great, but he hasn't begun to throw either. So he's really in a pain-free environment right now. He's down in Clearwater. We left him down here to rehab. So he'll start throwing it sometime next week. But when I say that, he'll start tossing. It'll be a slow process for him. We do think that he has a chance to come back this year. We're anticipating that he will. Of course, he'll have to pitch well enough to come here, but we think that's very possible. But yes, we're encouraged by his rehab so far. Doctors have felt good about it, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on him too.
We've talked about the guys, their mantra being 2 more wins, and they're singularly focused on winning the World Series this year. In all your years of experience in getting teams to World Series, why is it so difficult to go back to the World Series after you've just gone there, especially when you lose the World Series?
Well, I think there's a couple different factors. One is it's just very difficult in general. There's a lot of good teams that are out there. So in order to make it to the World Series, you've beaten a lot of good clubs. Look at all the good clubs that we played last year. You have to be fortunate in regards to health and a break here or two. So I think I think when you win, it's even a little bit different because I think sometimes you just have that natural tendency to sit back, kind of take a deep breath, and then go forward again. And you forget all the 3-2 games or 2-1 games that you've won by one run that you battled through. Every little bit counts. And so I think that combination of the two things make it difficult to get back and to win. But it's not impossible by any means.
How committed was John Middleton getting that close and then giving you the green light to go spend and bring a guy like Trey Turner and other guys this offseason?
Well, John Middleton wants to win as badly as anybody.
And not just one, right?
That's right. No, he's driven to be a championship caliber organization for years to come. And I don't think there's any owner in baseball that lends his support more than John, not only from a financial perspective, but an overall just motivational support perspective from ownership. So we're very, very fortunate to have John involved.
And to wrap this up, John said that when you came here, there was like, okay, should we rebuild? Should we retool? And you said, no, we can go for this. How happy are you with the advances the organization has made and now season ticket sales are up? You see the excitement about having a team that can compete for a World Series here every year.
Well, I think it's really important. I'm very happy because actually in looking, it was sort of easy when you have guys like the top of your rotation like Wheeler and Nola right off the bat. Then you're in a position where you have key players already like Harper and you have Realmuto and you have Hoskins, you had Segura. So I think the real key for us has been the development of some of our young players. So all of a sudden you had a Bohm to the lineup, a Stott now coming in, a Marsh with a trade for an O'Hoppe, another young player from our organization, a Darick Hall now stepping in. So we need to get that player development and scouting system coming along. We got a tremendous staff with Brian Barber and Preston Mattingly heading that, and Jorge Volandi has helped us in Latin America. So we're building the foundation at the same time. So it's a good feeling. I think we have a chance to be a good club and a good organization for a lot of years to come.
All right, well, the players have ditched Dancing on My Own. They said it's a second place song. They're looking for a first place. Do you have any recommendations?
That's above my level. I think they will make a lot better choice than I would. So we're in good hands.
You got it. Thanks for the time, Dave.
All right.
Best wishes this year.
Thanks, John.
All right, we are joined by Darick Hall, and give us an idea. Fans out there anticipate opening days like no other. It's almost like Christmas morning. How about for you as a young player?
Man, I mean, this is my first time. So just, today's a day of enjoyment. It feels good to be here, but also just to take it in, right? It's like everybody's excited. The fans are excited. Baseball's back. It's time to go. The season starts here. Looking to get the team off to a good start and just really enjoy everything that's going on.
When you got your experience last year and the taste of it, how motivating was that? And to improve like you did in the offseason?
Yeah, it's I think as a player coming up, it's like once you realize like you made the jump and you had success, it's like it gave me a lot of confidence. And I knew there was room to grow still. And that's what I took in the off season and just, I thought it came out well in camp, some of the improvements I made. So just looking forward to taking that in the year, keep it going. I know there's going to be things you learn, but there's things that you shouldn't have as many problems with that you did the year before. So excited to have that come out.
Yeah, when you see your name in the lineup like it is today, opening day, first time, you're also thinking of Rhys Hoskins. He's having surgery really close to here today.
Yeah. I mean, it was so sad. I mean, everybody was taken back, right? I mean, I think it took a couple of days for the team just to process what happened. As an athlete, just knowing like what all the work that goes in, the sacrifice of time, the work on your body, work on your craft, and then have something freaky like that happen. It's like it broke my heart, and I know it broke other people's hearts too. And, praying for him, hope that surgery goes well and that he recovers well. We love him. We're going to miss him. He said he's going to be around. So that's going to be really encouraging because, he's a major voice in this clubhouse and loved by the team and the fans, and love the guy. And he's a good role model for me too. I ask him lots of questions and just watch how he does things. I learn by watching, and he's a guy that I always look to in any situation. So I wish him the best and good recovery.
Rob Thompson says you're going to be getting most of the time at first base. Has Rob or Reese or anybody given you some good advice about how to approach this season?
Yeah, I think people just say be yourself, right? It's instead of trying to fill shoes, it's like I think if I play my game, it'll take care of itself. I'm confident in myself. I feel like I'm the best I've ever been at this point in my career, and I'm just excited to see what happens and ready to compete.
So you've improved against left-handed pitching in spring training. What did you work on specifically? Is it more physical or more mental? It
was definitely more mental, more so just understanding where the ball needs to be to hit it, right? Like we talk, a lot of hitters talk about balls coming out of windows. Just understanding where the ball needs to start was huge for me. And I spent a ton of time with K-Long in the off season and just time on the machine, understanding, like getting it angled so I have a good idea where that ball needs to start. And that really helped me in spring, lay off those sliders away, understanding which ones are the good ones to hit. And I think I felt really good, and my confidence grew even more in spring. And I felt like my bats from the beginning to the end against lefties got better and better.
And you want to show that you can be out there every day at first base.
Absolutely. I think it just kind of, after last year, I did really good against righties, better than I ever have. But I actually dipped on lefties, and I was like, oh, I wonder why. But I understand that each one is different in its own way. Right. So when I respected that, it made me actually better because I know that now that it's different and you have to have a different mindset going into it. And that's what helped me kind of bridge the gap in between both and to be able to jump back and forth and get in the right mode against a lefty or a righty. And that is what I think, came with time and understanding.
When you look at the team last year that came within 2 wins of a World Series and you see who they added this year, do you think this team is better going into the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially once we get everybody back, we're a dynamic team, and I think we definitely can go all the way this time.
What is it like to hit a home run at Citizens Bank Park?
Oh, it's so exciting. Just to I swear it's like as soon as it's off the bat, you start hearing the fans, and the emotions. It never gets old, I can tell you that.
What about the crowds at Citizens Bank Park? What did you learn about Philly last year going through the playoff run and going to the World Series as a team?
Hey, that's fuel to our fire, right? It's like teams just couldn't get comfortable, right? They had our backs, man. It was awesome. Like it felt like we were in the arena and they were right there with us, and just adding to our momentum, and it was awesome to see and a great experience. And, we're looking to do that again this year.
So Dancing on My Own, Kyle Schwarber said that is a second place song. They were looking for a new one. Have you guys found one yet to start the season?
I actually don't know. I definitely think, usually from year to year, a team's song changes. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be, but right now I don't have an answer to that, but I'm sure it'll be something. So
do you have family, friends, people coming for your first opening day?
Yeah. So I have family in Texas. My family from Arizona, my mom, my grandpa, my grandma are all coming. Both my best friends live in Texas. One lives in Austin, one lives in Dallas. They're coming. So we got a crew. So it'll be a good amount of people.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, congratulations to you getting the start today, and best wishes this year.
Thank you so much.
All right, we are here with Bryson Stott. Give us an idea. You know how fans look forward to opening days. How is it for you guys as players?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's one of the best days of the year, I think, and you do all the off-season stuff and spring training to get to the season, and it's finally here, and we're ready to get going.
How much are you looking forward to seeing Trey Turner leading off this lineup and the things he can do?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of got a glimpse of it in spring, and but the season's a whole different thing, and he's here, and he's a Philly, so.
So I look over here and I see Rhys Hoskins' uniform hanging up in his locker. How important was it for you guys to have that here and be with you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge part of this. I mean, he's the guy we all lean on and kind of the heartbeat to this whole thing. So just kind of seeing his stuff over there in his jersey and just kind of it's great to have, and he's in good spirits, and he'll be around as much as he can, and that's always a plus as well. So,
do you think this team is better than last year's team?
I don't know. Just go out and play good. So We'll see.
What did you learn going through that experience last year that you can take into this season?
You're going to struggle. You're going to have your highs and lows. I mean, as a team, same thing. When we started not good and we finished really good. So it's a long season for a reason. And like I said, we're just going to play our best and see what happens at the end of the day.
Was there a mantra for this team this year?
We'll leave that up to Stubby. We'll see what Stubby's got up his sleeve. So.
Alec Boehm did say it. You got so close, and you kind of had that singular focus now. Would you agree? Like your sights are set on one thing?
Yeah, for sure. Just the whole clubhouse in general. The pitchers aren't talking to pitchers. The pitchers talk to everybody, and vice versa. And I mean, that's a lot of hanging out off the field too. So it's big. And some guys have said that that's usually not how it goes. There's obviously certain teams that hang out and do stuff off the field, but the amount of time that we spend together off the field is key to the clubhouse as well.